Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Chatting with Chops. My name is Karen, and I try and make fun and entertaining videos that might teach you something along the way. Today is a little bit of a different video. Normally I'm bringing you along on bakes that I want to try and see if we can make them vegan. Well, today we're going to make it kind of easy. This recipe is vegan already. I pulled it off the internet, and it's from Nora Cooks. So shout out to her. I'm about to try one of her recipes, and I thought I'd bring y'all along for the ride and see how they turn out. I'm sure they turn out great for Nora Taylor, but we'll see how they turn out for me. So let's get started. Let's make some lemon bars. The first thing I've done is put some parchment paper in an 8x8 pan, and it specifically said for you to leave some overhang so you can pull it out once they're done cooking. So I've done that, and then I've put 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar in my bowl. I'm then going to put 1/2 cup of vegan butter that has been melted. So I'm going to pour that in there. And it wants me to add salt, but I don't add salt to my recipes unless it's yeast bread, so we're going to leave that out. I'm going to stir that for just a second. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And if you haven't figured it out already, we're currently making the crust for our lemon bars. So I'm just basically going to stir this and get it to where it's all well combined. And I will give y'all some fun facts as we go along in this recipe. Fun fact, in case you didn't know and you just really like watching my videos, vegan is plant-based. There's a vegan-based diet means that you do plant-based dietary needs. You don't eat anything that comes from an animal. Okay, so that is all mixed in. So we're going to take this, and here comes the fun part. We get to do this with our hands. We're just going to pour this. See if I can get that where y'all can see it good. We're just going to pour this into our pan. Make sure we get everything. Like I keep saying, you don't want to miss out on any goodness. Right, and then you're supposed to just spread it around to make your crust. If you don't like doing this with your hands, some people just don't like to get their hands dirty. And like I've said before, if you really don't like getting your hands dirty, you probably shouldn't make bread. Sorry, this is probably a little noisy with this parchment paper. But what I was about to say is if you really don't like doing things with your hands or getting your hands dirty, you could always try and use this with a spoon. I'm sure that, see, you could spread it out with a spoon and basically get the same process. You just want to get it as even as you can. You don't want one lemon bar to have more crust than the next. So just try and get it patted down pretty good. And then we're going to put it in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven. And let's see, we're going to do that for 16 to 18 minutes. And again, I always tell you, you need to adjust for your oven. So just looking, once it starts getting a little bit lightly brown, then you take it out and just set it aside, and then we'll make our filling. So let me put this in the oven and we'll see how it looks. They had us make. Oh, it looks so good. I'm gonna see it here. Let me put my other glove on so I can show you guys. It said that the recipe was just saying you needed to have a little bit of brown. I don't know if y'all can see, just a tiny bit of brown around the edges. So we're just gonna set that off to the side, and now we're gonna make our filling. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make the filling. I have made So in the pan right now is 3/4 of a cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And I need to put in 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. So there's one. This is definitely not going to be a diet bake with all of this sugar. So there's 1.5 cups of sugar. Alright, and then we're going to do coconut milk. So we're at 1 1/4 cups of coconut milk. Alright, there's one. And 1/4. That almost looks like cream. Let's see how. 1 1/4 cups of coconut milk. And then we're going to add the cornstarch. I want 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. And yes, there's a reason why I'm doing this in a pan on the stove, because we're fixing to cook all this. 3, 4, 5, goodness gracious, and 6. I'll be excited to see how this turns out. Alright, we're just going to stir this up so we get everything dissolved. So you see we got some stirring to do, because we've got a whole lot of sugar in the bottom of this, and all this cornstarch is just going to need to get blended in. So I'm going to do a little fast forward on you there. So we're just going to stir this because the sugar needs to dissolve and everything just needs to thicken up. With that much cornstarch, I can imagine that's probably what's going to help everything thicken up real well. We've got to get all that sugar dissolved, and I'm trying to get the last little bits of the cornstarch to dissolve. So I'm just basically taking the little tiny clumps that are still in here and just kind of trying to flatten them against the pan. Okay, so we're just going to stir this until it thickens up, and it says it's supposed to be thick enough to be able to spoon out, so I think I've got a minute or two. So it's thickened up. I don't know if you can see that really well, but you see how well that's thickened up? So I've taken it off the heat, and I'm just going to pour it into my little crust that I made. Smells wonderful. I set a timer so that I could tell you guys that it took about 5 minutes from the time that I put it in the pan to when it actually started to thicken up a little bit. All right, just gonna put a little swirl on that so it'll be nice and pretty when it comes out. And we're gonna put this back in the oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. Isn't that great? That was 15 minutes. Y'all didn't even have to sit around and wait for it. All right. And that's what it looks like. Hey, guess what? The lemon bars are done. They are fully cooked, and they've been put in the fridge overnight. And this is what they look like when they came out. Now, I will say they look pretty thick. I was not expecting there to be that much filling. And I'm going to try and see if I can lift this up a little bit so you can see. But there's the nice little crust on the bottom that we made. Whoops, I dropped all my confectionery sugar off of that. But there they are. They're all finished. The only thing I would say is we have not tried them yet, so I'll let you know how they taste. But I will say, because I didn't put the turmeric in it to add the extra little kind of yellowy color that lemon bars usually naturally have out of the box, so to speak, haha, naturally, they do have kind of an off color, but that's just natural vegan lemon color. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next bake.